The bread you buy every week may not resemble the bread your body evolved to digest. Walk through any supermarket aisle and, well, you'll see shelves stacked with soft, uniform loaves wrapped in plastic, engineered for shelf life and visual appeal. Yet rates of digestive discomfort, gluten sensitivity complaints, and metabolic issues continue to rise. While bread alone is not the sole culprit, the transformation of flour over the past century deserves scrutiny. 2,000 years ago, Roman bakers produced panis quadratus, a round, sectioned loaf made from stone-ground emmer wheat and fermented with wild yeast. We reconstructed this bread not as a novelty, but to examine whether ancient milling and fermentation practices produced something fundamentally different from today's industrial loaves. This is not romanticism. It is a serious look at grain processing, microbial fermentation, and what happens when technology prioritizes speed over biology. Industrial milling changed flour at the molecular and nutritional level. Modern roller milling separates grain into refined white flour by stripping away the bran and germ. This process increases shelf stability and, creates the soft texture consumers expect. However, it also removes fiber, oils, minerals, and naturally occurring microbes present in whole grain. What remains is primarily starch and gluten-forming proteins. Stone grinding, by contrast, crushes the entire grain slowly, retaining bran, germ, and the complex matrix of nutrients. Emmer wheat, one of the earliest domesticated grains, contains a different gluten structure than modern hybridized wheat varieties. Its protein composition tends to form weaker gluten networks, which some people find easier to tolerate. If you want to apply this knowledge today, start by sourcing true whole-grain stone-ground flour from a reputable mill. Check labels carefully. Whole wheat on a supermarket bag often means recombined flour, rather than traditionally milled grain. Roman fermentation relied on living wild cultures rather than commercial yeast. Industrial bread production depends on fast-acting commercial yeast strains designed for predictability and rapid rise. Dough can be mixed, proofed, baked and packaged in hours. The trade-off is limited fermentation time. Long fermentation is not just about flavour. It allows lactic acid bacteria and wild yeasts to break down complex carbohydrates and partially pre-digest gluten. In reconstructing panis quadratus, we used a sourdough culture derived from wild yeast strains. The dough fermented slowly over 24 to 48 hours. During this period, beneficial microbes produced organic acids, improved mineral bioavailability, and reduced certain compounds, such as phytic acid, that can inhibit nutrient absorption. To experiment with this yourself, begin by cultivating a simple sourdough starter. Combine equal parts whole grain flour and water in a jar, stir daily, and feed it consistently for about a week until it becomes active and bubbly. This starter becomes your living fermentation engine. Emmer wheat offers a closer link to ancestral grain genetics. Modern wheat has been selectively bred for yield, elasticity, and compatibility with industrial baking equipment. Ancient grains such as emmer, einkorn, and spelt retain older genetic profiles. Emmer, in particular, was widely used in Roman bread production and offers a denser, nuttier loaf. While no grain is universally tolerable, some individuals report improved digestion when consuming ancient grain sourdough compared to mass-produced white bread. This may be due to differences in gluten structure, fermentation time, and fiber content, rather than the grain alone. If you want to test this personally, conduct a controlled experiment. Remove supermarket white bread from your diet for 2 weeks. Replace it with slow-fermented, stone-ground sourdough made from emmer or other heritage wheat. Observe changes in digestion, satiety and energy. Keep the rest of your diet consistent to isolate variables. The prebiotic potential of traditionally fermented bread deserves attention. Prebiotics are compounds that feed beneficial gut bacteria. Whole grains contain resistant starches and fibers that support microbial diversity in the gut. When bread is fermented slowly, microbial activity modifies carbohydrates into forms that can be more digestible and beneficial. Industrial bread often lacks this extended fermentation window. Additives may compensate for texture, but they do not replicate microbial complexity. While it would be irresponsible to claim that ancient bread heals in a medical sense, it is reasonable to argue that a traditionally fermented whole-grain loaf provides a more supportive environment for gut health than highly refined white bread consumed in excess. For those serious about preparedness and self-reliance, mastering traditional bread baking also offers practical resilience. Flour, water, salt, and a living starter can produce nutritious food without reliance on industrial supply chains. Reconstructing panis quadratus reveals structural and nutritional differences. The Roman panis quadratus was typically scored into 8 sections before baking, making it easy to break apart. Its crumb was dense yet moist, with visible grain particles and a tang from natural fermentation. Unlike factory loaves, it staled naturally rather than moulding quickly due to additives. When comparing nutritional profiles, stone-ground emmer sourdough generally contains higher fibre and micronutrient levels than refined white bread. The slower glycemic response associated with whole-grain sourdough may also support steadier blood sugar levels for some individuals. Reconstruction is not about reenactment for spectacle. It is about understanding how processing methods alter food fundamentally. The larger lesson is that convenience often replaces complexity. Industrial food systems optimize for scale, uniformity and cost. Ancient baking optimized for survival, nutrition and local grain availability. Somewhere in that transition, we traded biological richness for speed. Revisiting Roman bread is not about rejecting modernity. It is about reintroducing processes that align with human digestion and microbial ecology. Stone grinding, long fermentation and heritage grains represent technologies refined over centuries before industrial shortcuts reshaped them. If this exploration of ancient bread and modern gut health gave you practical insight, subscribe to the channel and share this episode with fellow history enthusiasts and self-reliance advocates. The past still holds lessons that can strengthen our present, and we will continue uncovering them together.